I'm with Jim Rollo from State Farm Insurance, and he's our go-to guy for flood insurance. And today we're talking about changes in the policy
Changes
procedure,
in
right?
the National Flood Insurance Program effective April of 2015. Yes.
Okay, and it is not good news.
Well, it's better news than it would have been, but there are changes because premium increases for people in a flood zone were going to be 25% per year.
Wow.
And they've changed the legislation, and now it's going to be a maximum of 18% per year.
But that's still huge.
Still huge. Yes, it is.
So if somebody has, $300 a year, then it's not, gigantic. But if they're getting higher than that, it's
Right. If their premium is $3,000 or $4,000 a year, then
Yeah.
18% of that is certainly a much bigger number.
Yeah.
So definitely. So that's one of the factors. So 18% cap on increases, and the whole idea is of the Bigger Waters Act of 2012 was to eliminate subsidies, so that people eventually will pay the full risk premium for their policies. So that's why these increases. The other thing that's happening is grandfathering, which means it's really important in Broome County because about 7,000 properties are slated at some point to go into a flood zone. They're not in a flood zone now. So today you could buy a preferred risk policy, and if I say, pick a number here, I show you the premium, you could buy $100,000 of coverage on your house for $308 a year. So that would be good until the flood maps change, and then you'd have another year after the maps change to pay that $308 premium.
So you'd be buying flood insurance on a property that's not in the flood zone,
Now,
but you know it's going to be going in.
right.
And then
Yes.
you get another year at the same price.
Correct. That's right.
And then what happens? Then it starts going up.
And then it starts going up, and then it falls into this category of
It can go up
we
18%
want
a year.
we want to eliminate the subsidies. So
So in 4 years, it pretty much doubles.
right. So grandfathering used to be, something that would give you 2 years of low premiums after the maps became effective. Now it's only 1 year, and it used to be that it would also protect you from premium increases, and it no longer will.
Wow.
So those two things
So-
are affecting it. Yeah.
Right. And, for me as a realtor, I look at it and I go, do I want to buy this house because it's got a new furnace and it's got new wiring and everything looks good and it's a low price, but it's going to have flood insurance, so... Or do I
Right.
want to buy 2 blocks up the hill there and not have to worry about all that?
Right. And one thing that we're able to do in some cases, so if we look at either the future flood zone or the current flood zone, and let's just talk about a current flood zone, if the property says partially within a flood zone, that might indicate that just part of the parcel is in the flood zone.
The land.
Right, but that the structure itself is not, and we've successfully had a number of properties remapped. We get them removed from the flood zone.
Wow.
So now the bank no longer obligates the owner to buy flood insurance,
Right.
number one. Number two, if they do decide to buy it because they want to, not because they have to, because a bank is telling them, they can pay the $308 price.
What are some of the other things in here?
So some of the other things are for rental properties, and this is a pretty big deal. For rental properties, they've instituted a $250 per year surcharge on the policy. So if you own a rental, it's not your residence, you own the rental and you have flood insurance on it, they've now added a $250 surcharge. All of this is designed to try to make the National Flood Insurance Program solvent, because the claims in floods all over the country have exceeded the premiums coming in, and they're billions of dollars in the hole.
Wow.
And they just can't keep doing that. So,
Wow.
yeah.
Well, if someone wants to know more information or they have more questions, how would they
They
reach you?
call us at 754-3000, or they can email me, jim@jimrollo.com.
Jim?
Okay,
Thanks a
John,
million.
thanks so much.
Okay.